Hello friend, welcome back. In a previous video, I already discussed about that things with you, how can migrate, then how can create the model for the categories and how can add one of the route for this one. So here I just define as a URL as a categories. In our admin, I also created one of the controller as a category controller, and now in our category controller there is index method. Okay, so now in this video I want to create one of the folder and I just want to create one of the list page for our this category. For doing this in our admin, so here I want to create one of the folder and I just name it as a category. Okay, I just name it as a category one of the folder, and into the category folder here I just click on the new file and now click on the save as, and here I just create one of the page for the category list. So I just define the list.blade.php and now I just save it. And this list page right now there is a permissions into the permission list. Okay, for now here I just copy whole things from our permission list blade and now I just paste on particular that position. Okay, so we will customize it as per our demand. So right now there is a permissions controller, we don't need this. So that is our migrate that table, so we also don't need this. And now here I want to update it. So for now here our field name, so if you go to our database, we already created on the database, and here you can see there is a name and the status. So these two fields will be needed right now. So that is actually the name, and here I just define particular that position as a status. Okay, I just define as a status, and right now we don't need that description, so I just remove it, and also there is a description td, so I just remove it. So now they have the name and then status. For the name here I just defining that name, and for the status, okay, so here I have to little work for this one. So into this position I want to actually add some of the button. Okay, like here it should be add some of the form button as a published or unpublished. So this type of things I want to do. For doing this like better, I just define that things on here. Okay, so here first of all I want to do like that is actually the form, so where I just copy it. Okay, I just copy it and here I paste that form. So I just create one of the open form, there is a method, so this method will be the put method. So here I just define that put, because here I want to update the status value. Okay, so for the reasons I just define that as a put, and the URL, so URL will be the our category back category. Okay, I just define the back category, and then it will be added the status. So we have to create this URL, and also we have to create that method as a status. Okay, so here I just define that status with the ID, and also that is actually the URL. So here I have to pass it, like here there is a back category and the create, so that's the thing. So we also have to create for the create our category. So now that is our update. So here will be the category, here will be the category. Okay, for the delete. So step by step I will do that work later. So right now I want to add that functions. So here I just define one of the form and I just make the things as a put method. And now here into this position I just want to add one of the if conditions. Like here I just define that if. Okay, I just define that if and I just close that if like as a and if onto this position. And into the if condition, first of all here I just define like here I just define with that row. So with that row I just defining that field name. So our field name is on here the status, so I just copy that status. Okay, so now with this status here I just put some of the conditions, like if this equal with the 1, that means the 1 value, then he will be submit some of the things. Like here I just define the submit, that I just copy it, and here I just define the submit, so then it should be show as a unpublished. Okay, unpublished. And for the unpublished I just define the class as a danger, and else he will be do the another things. Like here I just define that else, so at the rate and then else, and else you will be submit as a published. So here I just define the published. Okay, so then it should be defined as a published, and for the published I just make the things as a btn success class. So I just define that btn success class, and after that, and here I have to close that form. So here after that I just close that form on particular that position. So I hope you can well understand about it, what exactly the things I did on particular that position. It should be very much clear to you later. Here I just define one of the if condition, like when this status will be the equal 1, then it should be show one of the submit button as a unpublished, else he'll be show another button as a published. And also here I just defining one of the put method. I also define one of the URL on particular that position, that in the inner status method I want to create one of the method with like that way, like when you click on the publish, then this value will be updated to 1 to 0. Okay, then when it should be the 0, then it should be display the button name as a published. Okay, so this type of formula I want to apply. For right now we have to actually work in our controller. Like here if you go to the category controller, in category controller there is the index method. Like here I already assigned that things on here, like admin, that the category controller, in our category controller there is the index method. So now here I want to load our list page, so that is the page I just created. Okay, so for now in our category controller, first of all, what exactly the things I did. So I think it should be very much clear to you what, like here I just defined that as a page name. Okay, like here I just defined that page underscore name, and page name equal to, I just defined the page name here as a categories. Okay, so here I just define the page name as a categories, and in our list blade here I also display it. You can see I just print that page name, so it's perfect. So now I want to redact that page. So for now I want to also get all the data from our category table. For the reasons I just defining as a data variable, I just take one of the variable as a data, and here I just define our category. So I just define our category model, and I just want to get all data. So here I just defining as a all. So here I created our category model. So we have to also add that category model on here. So here I just use an add, and then our category. So here if you go to that position, so I created one of the, you can see that is actually the model as a category model. So right now I have to add it. Okay, category. So I just defining it on particular that position. So now after that I want to redact that page. Like here I just return it. Okay, I just return, and then I just define the view, and view which page. So here I already created one of the page as in our admin, and in our admin there is a category folder and there is a list page. Okay, so now I just defining it on here as admin, and then the category, and then our list. So I just define that list page. So now I have to also compact two of this. Like here I just define that compact. Okay, I just define the compact, and in particular that position I have to pass our page name, and also I have to pass our this data. So here I just defining it. So I just pass two of these from here. Okay, so I hope you can well understand about it. So now if you save it, like here I just click on the save it. Now if you want to access that URL, that means that is actually categories URL. So that is the categories URL I already added in our navigation. So there is a navigation. Okay, now let's check this out. I just click on the save all, and here if you go to that page, like that is our backend. Now I just refresh that page, and now go to the categories. Yes, now we see our category page is successfully loaded on here. So right now they have no data in our category. Okay, like right now they have the no data. Like right now they have the no data, for the reasons is now actually become empty. So in our next video I will work in our create portions. So how can create the create page, and how can insert all that category from here and visible that things in our database. So step by step I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.